Hello, everyone, and welcome to this evening's broadcast. I'm your host, Eric Goldman, the editor of Holistic Primary Care, and I'm really glad you've joined us this evening to explore a really important health topic. The issue is seasonal immune system support. And I know in many parts of the country, like here in New York, it still feels like summer, and we're still enjoying those last wisps of good summer weather. But the truth is, we're right on the edge of the autumnal equinox, and the cold weather is around the corner. It's going to be upon us before we know it. So this issue of how we can support our own and our patients' immune systems is a really essential one as we head into the winter months and all the health challenges that come with that. So that's what we're going to be exploring tonight. Our speaker is Lisa Murray, who's the medical education director and manager at Emerson Ecologics. As I'm sure most of you know, Emerson is the largest wholesale distributor for natural products in the US, specifically targeting medical practitioners. And here at Holistic Primary Care, we've had a long relationship with Emerson, and we're really grateful for their support of this webinar series. It's a series of three weekly webinars, and this is the first. So we'll be meeting again next Thursday and then the Thursday after that. So Lisa is a licensed dietitian and a health educator with over 25 years experience in holistic medicine. She's a registered dietitian nutritionist, and she was a founding member of a group called the Dietitians in Integrative and Functional Medicine. That was back in the 1990s. And she's been a pioneer in educating her peers in the medical field on the benefits of herbs and nutrition for a long time. Her passion for herbal medicine, and she's unique, and there's not that many dietitians that are very well versed in herbal medicine as well as nutrition, but she's one of them, and her passion for that began over 30 years ago when she moved from Colorado to the Northeast and soon developed seasonal affective disorder. And an herbalist at a local health food store suggested she try St. John's wort. And amazingly, it worked really well. And so that ignited Lisa's passion for herbal medicine. And that herbalist, it turned out, was Rick Scalzo, the founder of Gaia Herbs, which, as many of you know, is a great company. And I'm sure many of you are already familiar with Gaia's products. And if you're not, I'm sure you will be very soon. So that all awakened Lisa's interest in the healing power of herbs, and she immediately sought training in herbal medicine, studying with Rosemary Gladstar, who's one of the nation's most knowledgeable herbalists and educators. And so we'll be getting into herbal medicine and how to use nutraceuticals and all different aspects of how to use nutrition and natural medicine to support people's immune system as we head into the winter months. So tonight, Lisa's going to share a whole bunch of clinical pearls and practical insights from her own practice experience, and also from Emerson Ecologics' Ask the Experts panel of clinicians. That's a new program that they've begun at Emerson to help clinicians answer the practical issues that come up day to day in practice. So with all that said, before I turn the helm over to Lisa, just a few bits of housekeeping. There is a PDF handout of Lisa's slides. If you look in your little control panel, there's a little gray bar that says handouts. And if you open that, you'll see a little PDF. Just click on that and it will automatically download the slides to your computer. And we will be taking questions at the end. The way to submit questions is to open up the little questions bar on that control panel and type your questions in, and we will try and answer as many of them as we can before Lisa's time is up. So with that, let me turn the controls over to Lisa Murray.
Okay, well, thanks very much. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And I'm really happy to be able to talk on this topic. As Eric said, I am a medical educator at Emerson Ecologics. And a little bit about what the medical education team does here at Emerson Ecologics. We're devoted to answering clinical questions that come into us either by email, or we have phone consultations available as well. And we really enjoy interacting with our customers in this way, and we learn a lot too, because we have to do a lot of research to be able to answer questions appropriately. So a little bit about Ask the Experts. Both myself and Meredith Murray work on the medical education team, and Eric told you about me, and I'll tell you a little bit about Meredith. She's a naturopathic doctor, and she graduated from the National University of Naturopathic Medicine in Portland, Oregon. and she's also in clinical practice here in New Hampshire, specializing in GI health. So between the two of us, we try to help people as much as we can to select products that are appropriate for whatever patient population or conditions they're trying to treat. And we carry over 300 brands and over 20,000 products. It can be really daunting to try to get through, figure out what you need. So we're here to help you do that. And originally it was called Ask Dr. Emerson, but that got a little confusing because people thought there was actually a Dr. Emerson here. So a couple years ago, we changed the name to Ask the Experts. So if you're a customer of Emerson Ecologics, you can find a link to our Ask the Experts email submission on every product page that displays products. So it's easy to reach us. So we answer over 100 email questions and about 10 to 20 phone consults weekly, and hopefully some of you will be, emailing us and calling us in the coming weeks and years. So I'm going to move on to our topic, and the webinar was kind of, envisioned as kind of an Ask the Doc question answer period, and we wanted to provide you with some of the most common immune support questions. You probably have the same questions yourself sometime, and so we picked kind of our top 5 questions that we get most commonly. So the first question is, if you had to pick 3, what categories of products would you recommend to boost the immune system on a daily basis? And sometimes it's, well, if you had to pick 4, or what are your favorite categories of products? But it's a common question. Another question is, what do you suggest for an adult to take daily to help boost their immune system? And there's some other questions, come around autoimmune conditions. So we commonly get the question, like, I've heard patients with autoimmune conditions can't take echinacea and other immune stimulating herbs. So what do you recommend for immune support in these cases? We commonly get questions about pregnant and lactating women, and also lots of questions about dosing and recommendations for children. So I'm going to go through each of these questions and try to answer them. Okay, so here's one of the most common immune support questions. And basically, what categories or what kind of products do you recommend to boost the immune system on a daily basis? And we can't forget about foundational nutrients. So, vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. I always tell people, don't forget about the foundation of nutrition. So a really good multivitamin, and then, additional support with antioxidants, vitamin C, ensuring that people are getting adequate vitamin D, checking their blood levels. And then zinc, we're a population in America that is really commonly deficient in zinc. So sometimes, the 15 milligrams that's common in a multivitamin may be enough, but for other patients who are compromised, maybe they need a little bit more. The next grouping is botanicals and mushrooms. So there's so many different herbs and mushrooms and formulas that are really great in providing a daily foundation, kind of a nutritional food for the immune system specifically. And then the third category is probiotics. So probiotics really help the immune system in a variety of ways. We're going to touch on that in detail a little bit more. So so those are, when you think about immune support, those are the big 3: the nutritional foundation, the botanicals and mushrooms, in addition, and then really thinking about gut health in general, and probiotics can help with that. So as far as specifically, this is what I, suggest that a typical healthy adult would take daily to boost their immune system. And especially people who work in crowded places, with the public, in a school system, or even in a large office. Supporting your immune system on a daily basis can be really, really helpful in, really warding off a lot of those colds and viruses that come your way. So a lot of people, it's really funny that we do get a lot of questions about specific supplements to take, but a lot of people forget that a good multivitamin is just, you know, it's the nutritional foundation. We do not get enough nutrition from our food to really support a robust immune system because we skip meals, we have lots of stress, we don't eat right. And so in general, most people really benefit from a daily multivitamin to support the immune system. And that would, with a special emphasis on containing zinc and maybe 2,000 milligrams of vitamin D. Um, and then, maybe supplementing with additional vitamin C. But we'll get into products later. So, but a good multivitamin. And then a good mushroom formula. This is something that you can take every day, all year round, to really keep your immune system primed and healthy. Mushrooms really nourish the immune system and really great to take on an everyday basis. They're wonderful immune modulators. They're not overstimulating. They're just really good food for the immune system. Olive leaf extract is one of my favorites. There's a lot of different actions that olive leaf has and a lot of benefits. Garlic is probably the most, probably one of the first foundational herbs that herbalists would use for, daily immune support. Personally, I use garlic every day in my food, but I keep garlic as a supplement around for daily support, especially during the winter when there's a lot of exposure to viruses. Elderberry, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about elderberry. It's such a wonderful daily support because the whole family can use it. It tastes good. It's easy to put in, water or beverages, or, it's just a wonderful herb that also has a lot of benefit for the immune system. And then a daily probiotic. Again, really, good immune support really does begin in the gut, and probiotics help to keep the immune system, the GI system healthy, tight junctions, so that there's less, um, you know, less areas where those viruses can get through and take hold. And so another common immune support question is that I've heard that patients with autoimmune conditions cannot take echinacea and other immune stimulating herbs. So what do you recommend for immune support in these cases? So a lot of that is theoretical and not really proven in practice that echinacea will, make autoimmune conditions worse, or other immune supporting herbs. Most herbs are immune modulating, and so we don't have any clinical evidence showing that it really is detrimental. But people worry about it, and so there's a lot of other immune supporting foods that are immunomodulating. So we really point again to mushrooms and garlic and elderberry and olive leaf. Also, astragalus has been used in Chinese medicine for thousands of years, and it just is it's used on a daily basis, and again, is immune building, immune modulating, but not immune stimulating. Andrographis is good. Berberine containing herbs for acute support when needed, like golden seal, barberry, and coptis. And again, probiotics. So even if people have autoimmune conditions and they've heard that echinacea may be not appropriate for those kinds of conditions, you, I really encourage people to think about food, so mushrooms and garlic and berries, as their go-to products for immune support. And then what we recommend for pregnant or lactating women. So normally, we really do, we recommend and we practice making, we recommend that pregnant and lactating women do not take supplements per se. So a good prenatal vitamin um, is the best foundation, but there are things that they can do. So we recommend that they just use immune supporting foods and teas as well, because teas are very traditionally used by pregnant and lactating women. They're safe. So we point to mushrooms, again, for immune support, garlic and onions when they're pregnant, but not during lactation, because some babies really don't like that. And of course, elderberries and other types of berries, because the antioxidants in berries really provide a whole lot of support for the immune system. And then immune supporting teas are considered safe during pregnancy and lactation. So echinacea, astragalus, olive leaf, licorice, no more than 2 or 3 cups a day, but they have been traditionally used um, for centuries with no ill effects. And then probiotics, perfectly safe and very beneficial for the immune system. So we really like to point to these items, and less in supplement form, although elderberry syrup is perfectly fine, and more in the food form. And then products and dosages that we would recommend for children with colds and coughs. We're going to really zero in on that next week, so I'm not going to cover that here. But again, really looking at foods and probiotics, and then that's one of our top questions, and it's a great question. And my my supervisor, Dr. Jacqueline Chassie, who's a naturopathic doctor, she has 4 children of her own, and she really knows a lot about pediatric immune support. So she'll be talking about that next week. We wanted to talk a little bit more about gut health and immunity. And so we really like to, it's a very big topic. It's a very popular topic because the research is just exploding about the connection with the microbiome and so many different systems of the body. The gut-brain axis, and of course we have the gut immune connection. And so it's just, the fact is that the gut microbial community has, co-evolved with humans over, all these millions of years. And the gut microbial community really does interact with the immune system, not just locally at the within the intestinal tract itself, but provides, turns on a lot of different processes systemically. So the byproducts of um, the bacterial metabolism affects our immune system in so many ways. It's a huge, huge area of research and study right now, and it's just every single day there's more research being published showing the connection and the benefits of really having a good, balanced microbiome. So when your gut is healthy, you're healthy. And that's really the bottom line. So how do we get there? You know, how do people get there? Because there are so many things that really interfere with a healthy microbiome. It depends on, you know, the level of inflammation that is occurring in the gut, the kinds of foods people are eating, whether they're, you know, they could have hidden allergies. There's just so many things that affect the microbiome in the gut, not to mention antibiotic use. So, so how do we help patients fix that? Um, well, basically, we want to have more beneficial bacteria and fewer pathogenic bacteria. And so probiotics can provide an ongoing source of beneficial human bacteria, which, you know, kind of pushes out the bad bacteria and really supports the each patient's moving towards a healthy microbiome. And again, uh, you know, we have to address all the underlying causes, and if there's inflammation, it's really difficult. So addressing inflammation in the gut, um, addressing food allergies, all that kind of thing. But probiotics can really provide that benefit, and it's an ongoing benefit. You know, studies have shown that daily use is really beneficial in supporting um, the immune connection. So we wanted to get into the top 5 products that medical education recommends and uses. This is a really big, huge engagement with our customers when we publish these things on our blog. People really like to know what other practitioners use, what they like. It's so popular that we also, in our online dispensary, Wellevate, we have a protocol library of, you know, that has been provided by experts in the field because people like to know, like, what do other practitioners use? So I'm going to talk a little bit about my favorite products, which also happen to be favorites for a lot of our customers. Um, and the first one is elderberry syrup. Again, it's a classic. I keep it at my office. I keep it at my home. Um, the whole family can use it. And it does provide evidence-based immune support. Elderberry does a lot of, you know, different things, antimicrobial, antiviral, and it's really shown to be helpful. Um, I myself find that it isn't the be all and end all, but it really, as a daily support, it doesn't, it's, you know, well accepted by most people, and it really can be, like I said, not everything can be used daily, but this really can. So this particular product is a super concentrated elderberry extract. It's made from actually a solid extract of elderberries, and they put in a little glycerin for, um, you know, to preserve it. So that's why I like it. It just has 2 ingredients, elderberries and glycerin. So it's one of my favorites. And then I also use capsules. So I use Gaia Black Elderberry Extract capsules if I'm traveling or I want even stronger support. And the next product, actually both Meredith and I use this personally. We always recommend using a mushroom extract. And this one happens to be from mushroom emperors. I personally think that you know, traditional Chinese medicine has a lot of things right, and they were one of the first ones to really use mushrooms as medicine. And so I think they know what they're doing. And this particular product is a synergistic blend of extracts from a whole lot of mushroom species. And really just it provides that important daily immune nutrition. Again, you can get it from eating mushrooms like shiitake mushrooms and maitake mushrooms, but they're not quite as easy to get. So we really like this product. And here is another classic. I really like the Gaia brand. Of course, I've used it for many, many years. This happens to be a very potent combination of echinacea and golden seal. I often use echinacea and golden seal separately, but when I came across this product, I really feel that both the echinacea and the golden seal are potent enough to work very synergistically together. And again, evidence-based acute immune support. Both echinacea and golden seal have immune support properties. Golden seal tends to be a little drying, and so it has a real good affinity for sinuses and for really kind of helping to dry things up. So I use golden seal a lot. As most of you know, it can be antimicrobial, and so it has a really good application for acute immune support, but it's really good to keep on hand. So I take it, I keep that in my desk drawer, and I always, always, always take it when I'm traveling. And then we come to basically one of my favorite all-time products. It can be used for daily support, and if you double the dose, it can be used for acute support. It's one of our top sellers in the immune support category, and it has, I'm not sure, I don't even know how many herbs and nutrients it has in there. It has a lot of them, I think over 30, but it has a really hefty dose of vitamin C. So if in 3 tablets, you're getting over 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C daily, which is really good for a daily dose of vitamin C for supporting just redox balance and reducing, oxidation load. It's an excellent antioxidant formula. So it has vitamin C, it has zinc, and again, in addition to a multivitamin, this can provide appropriate immune support for the winter season. It also has just a huge combination of herbs. Some of my favorites, it includes garlic, it includes echinacea, it has astragalus and andrographis, and it also has elecampane and a lot of just really traditional herbs used over the years traditionally by, herbalists for hundreds of years. And most importantly, I've just found it to be really, really effective. So again, one of my favorites, and I've used it for at least 25 years. And this is a fairly newcomer that we are all extremely excited about. Garlic, as we talked about, has a lot of immune supporting properties. It's antimicrobial. This particular garlic extract is very potent. It has a special extracting technique that preserves more of the active compounds of garlic. It has a lot of evidence-based benefits, not only for immune support, but also for cardiovascular support and also for microbiome health. It keeps the GI tract in balance. And what we really like about this is it just seems to be very, very effective, especially either daily or for acute care. For acute, temporary use, most people will say, 2 or 3 capsules a day, but it really seems to have a powerful effect. So we like this one a lot, and it hasn't been around too long, but we're really excited about it. And then, I just want to remind practitioners to take care of themselves during the winter season. And also, tips for your patients as well as yourself. But you know, you want to wash your hands frequently, or keep hand sanitizer in your car, or make your own with oregano oil, and you know, use it liberally. And make sure you get a lot of sleep. Um, and people need to stay well hydrated to keep their nasal passages and everything moist so they don't get cracked. But it's really hard during the winter, especially in the Northeast. Um, we lose a lot of water into, you know, because of the dry air. So staying well hydrated, and you know, using herbal teas for your hydration, either hot or cold. You can add elderberry syrup to your water. These are all, you know, things that a lot of us do here at Emerson Ecologics. Excuse me. Eating fresh garlic, using it in your food, um, lots of veggies and berries for antioxidant support. This really does provide a lot of nutrition for the immune system. Keeping personal supplements at the office as well as at home, you know, so keep extra immune support at the ready when needed. And you know, like a lot of us keep elderberry gummies on our desk and just snack on them when it's needed. I always like to tell people, don't forget to support your HPA axis with adaptogens. So that's really helpful. It doesn't support just your adrenal system. It also supports your immune system. Maximizing omega-3 intake, supporting redox balance with at least 500 milligrams of vitamin C at each meal. And that's why I like the wellness formula, because, you know, it does that. And then, you know, I like to spray doorknobs and other surfaces with sanitizing spray if necessary, if it, you know, especially at home. Um, and, you know, you see more and more patients wearing a mask. So there's nothing wrong with asking ill patients to don a mask. And all of these things can work together to hopefully keep you and all your patients a little bit healthier during the winter season. And just a few things about Emerson Ecologics. Um, we provide wholesale nutraceuticals to practitioners, but we also have a dispensary called Wellevate, and that is a patient-facing portal. So your patients can order their supplements and their refills through the online dispensary. It's an excellent tool for practitioners to keep their patients engaged, to keep practitioners ordering the supplements that they're supposed to have from, you know, from you rather than from Amazon. And for anyone who doesn't know about Wellevate, I really invite you to come to the Emerson website and find out more about using Wellevate in your practice. And so with that, I guess I'm ready for any questions and answers.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. So as I said earlier, as we started, if you want to ask questions, just type them into the little question bar on the control panel. You just click open that questions there, and you can ask questions. Okay, it looks like some things are coming in. Lisa, you want to take those?
Sure. Okay, so there's a question about Wellmune and beta glucans. So yeah, Wellmune is a wonderful product that we carry at Emerson. It is a very concentrated uh, beta glucan that comes from yeast, a yeast extract. It's a patented you know, yeast extract. Uh, and beta glucans are, you know, the same things found in mushrooms and other immune supporting uh, foods. But it really has a lot of good research behind it showing that it modulates immune function in humans. And it's again, it's more effective if it's taken on a daily basis. And that's why we say, you know, don't wait to take your mushrooms for when you're sick, because they're not going to work. And the same with Wellmune. Again, it's an excellent, highly purified extract from Saccharomyces cerevisiae, Its benefits are supported by many studies, but it's most effective when it's taken daily. So again, another really good addition to your daily immune support.
Great. Well, if I might venture a question,
Sure.
I'm wondering about the fermented garlic products that we see, in the market. There's certainly some on the consumer, in the health food stores, and I'm guessing there's also some available through practitioner lines. Do you have experience with those? Is there any reason to prefer the fermented garlic over just a non-fermented garlic product, or just eating garlic as a culinary herb?
I've seen those coming out. We don't actually carry, I think we might carry one. Um, because they're a fairly new product, I don't have a lot of experience with it. I haven't seen a lot of research on it. You know, fresh garlic has a lot of benefits, and you're always looking for, the most potent uh, garlic and the most potent extract that you can find is going to have the best benefit. So unfortunately, because it's fairly new, um, we kind of we like to see the research, but yeah, I wish I could say that I've used it, but I
Okay.
haven't used it in my practice.
Yeah, I was just curious because I do see them around. And I also had another question about probiotic strains. Are you finding that there are particular strains, particular bugs that are especially helpful in fall and winter immune support?
Yes, actually, there is research on particular immune supporting strains. Now, to be honest, probably most probiotics do support the immune system. Like most probiotic strains, most probiotic products, they have, some immune supporting activity. Because again, they're they're not so much colonizing per se, but they're helping each person to diversify their own microbiome by providing that beneficial environment for um, beneficial human commensal bacteria to grow. So most probiotics will have immune benefit. We do have certain products that have looked into strains that, researched strains. But I would say that a lot of the research is showing that in general, most probiotics do support immune health. Um, so again, it's a growing body of evidence. Meredith and I are looking into it every day, constantly trying to see what's new. So again, I would include a probiotic that focuses on immune support, along with any other daily probiotic you might take, or switch them around. So again, the important thing is to take the probiotics to help provide that environment in the GI tract for beneficial microbial diversity.
Okay. And you mentioned oregano oil sort of in passing. Can you say more about that? It seems like there's a long history of use of oregano oil, various cultures, and we're certainly seeing it in the natural products space. It's just down at the Natural Products Expo, and there are a number of companies that are promoting oregano oil. Um, where does that fit into the immune support spectrum?
Okay, so oregano oil, yeah, has been a really popular immune support product. And oregano oil has actions against pathogenic bacteria and yeast in the GI system. So it reduces the pathogenic bacterial load, number one, and it allows the beneficial bacteria to grow. Um, and it is pretty highly antibacterial. So as far as taking it internally, we recommend specific applications, again, primarily to balance the microbiome. If you use it every day, it's going to have an effect. It's going to change your microbiome. It kills bacteria, and maybe some of the bacteria kills is good bacteria too. So we don't recommend using it, overusing it, or using it on a daily basis. It has some pretty specific applications, but for external use, it's a great antimicrobial, on your hands and surfaces and things like that. So I'm sure you've seen cleaning products that use oregano oil now.
Hmm.
And, it's like you can make your own hand sanitizer just using some oregano oil. So,
Are you
yeah, but
mixing
for,
it? Are you putting the oregano oil into other carrier oils?
yeah,
Because it can be pretty strong. So,
yeah, even into water, just put it into water and shake it up and spray it on. So, yeah, but although it's been very popular in health food stores and so on and so forth, um, it is very, very potent and very, very strong. Now, that's different than using oregano in food. So, oregano as an herb, as a spice, fresh or dried or whatever, um, one of its one of its properties, of course, is to kill bacteria, and so using it in food, throughout the ages, helps as a almost as a food preserver. It helps kill bacteria, but it also helps keep the microbiome healthy by killing bad bacteria in the microbiome. But again, that's using it as an herb, and it does have its place in um, you know, gut health. And oregano oil does too, but not for every day.
right. Okay. So a little bit goes a long way, not too much of a good thing, kind of thing.
Absolutely. You couldn't have said it better.
And what about other? Are there any other herbs that could be used as hand sanitizers? I mean, there's, these hand sanitizer, commercial products are so ubiquitous, and who knows what kind of chemicals are in them. I know a lot of people are looking for things that can be used in place of those, but that would be as effective.
Yeah,
Any other?
well, oregano oil for me is probably the number one, as far as effective, but I like lavender oil as well. Lavender is also antimicrobial and it smells good, and that can also be used. So those two, and tea tree oil. Tea tree oil is another antimicrobial. So those are, probably you know, the three that I can think of that I use most frequently.
Okay. Well, as a nice Jewish boy from New York, I have to ask about chicken soup. Is
Okay.
is there anything to it, and are there vegetarian, vegan alternatives to boiling up a chicken?
Well, it's really interesting. I think that the benefits of uh, chicken soup, or hot soup, are there. There's many different benefits. Number one, you know, there's a bone broth component. So real chicken soup is made with whole chicken bones and everything. So, bone broth has a lot of nutrition, but also you're getting, all the vegetables that you add. There's a lot of nutrition to that. And just the fact, the heat and the steam. So, um, I haven't looked into the research lately on chicken soup, but I know it's something I really crave when I'm not feeling well, and I'm sure it's true for a lot of people.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
Are,
I think soups are great.
are there veggie alternatives you recommend? Because I know many of us are trying to go more plant-based and, limit our or eliminate totally our meat intake.
Well, if you make a vegetable soup that contains, every kind of vegetable you can think of, and low on the carbs, you don't have to add a ton of noodles or rice or, whatever. But really, a vegetable soup is going to provide a lot of antioxidant nutrition for your immune system. And, just especially if it contains, greens like, kale and spinach and Swiss chard, and then of course you want to get your vitamin A from beta carotene. and vitamin C from all those from the greens or any other vegetables. It's just yeah, vegetable soup of any kind is going to be great. And during the winter, I make a large pot of soup every week, throw in all the vegetables, and eat that on a daily basis. So it's really, yeah, it's good stuff.
Great. Okay, anybody else out there have questions about winter immune support?
Are you able to see these questions, Eric?
Yeah, you're not seeing them?
No. If you
Ah,
want to
okay.
ask, if you want to ask
Yeah,
a
sure. A few
couple,
things have
great.
come in. Um, okay, Ruxana is suggesting to put together a chart with the different functions and uses for different probiotic strains. I don't know if
Yeah,
you all at Emerson have something like that, but if you do, I think a lot of people would be interested to see that.
that'd be great. Well, thank you for that suggestion. Yeah.
Uh, and then Kathleen, she's saying that she had gut issues for almost over a year after taking oregano oil, and have others had experiences like that. She says she only took a few drops for about 5 days when she felt like she was coming down with something, and then she had GI issues for a year. So that speaks to what you said earlier, that a little too much can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and in general, we don't recommend taking essential oils internally. There's a couple of, you know, again, the two exceptions to that would be oregano oil if you're using it therapeutically for a dysbiosis issue, and also lavender oil is not that harsh and also has a lot of good benefits. But other than that, we don't really recommend taking essential oils internally.
Hmm, okay. And Roxana is wondering about silver. She says she uses it as a spray diluted in water. Do you have experience using silver products?
Oh yeah, that's an excellent use. I like to use silver for especially for wound care. So for open areas and things like that. We also have products that have a nasal spray attachment. So again, it isn't something I would use on a daily basis, but certainly it has applications. And so like a nasal spray to protect your sinuses, throat spray. We have you know, really, we do recommend those. We do see those. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely.
Is there a downside to using silver at all?
Sure. If you use too much, you can turn a little gray. So you got to be, we do recommend that people are judicious in how they use silver.
Really, it turns you gray, huh?
It can if you take too much. And it's permanent.
Really?
So, yeah. So we say be careful using silver. Use a good product. We do like the Argentine products,
Mm,
and
mm.
again, we recommend that they not be used on a daily basis, but they certainly have their applications for wound care, for sinus care, and things like that.
Getting back to herbs for a second, what about Melissa? Like I know, like in Europe, some herbalists recommend Melissa as a a lemon balm as a immune system, cold flu season support kind of product. Do you have
Yes,
any experience with that?
yeah, I think that, traditionally, Melissa has had a reputation as as kind of as an antiviral. That's very traditional herbalism. And Melissa is a wonderful and amazing herb, and it can be used every day. But here, in the West, we tend to use it more for nervous system support. So it has very calming action. It interacts with, GABA receptors, and it has a lot of really great benefits, for supporting sleep and supporting calm and, reducing feelings of anxiousness. As far as its antiviral activity, I don't think the research has really been there as far as we've seen, but it doesn't mean that that's not going to come on in the future. So we do have a lot of herbs to choose from.
Indeed. Okay, any other questions?
Yep, I'm not
Yeah,
seeing.
looks
I
like
think we.
that's it. That's the last call. Anybody else have anything they want to throw in the pot here for winter immune support?
Okay.
Okay, well, just a reminder, we've got the slides are available. Just click on the little handout tab on your control panel. You can download those. We did record the session, so we'll be sending out an email probably in a day or so, maybe 2 days over the weekend, with a link so you can replay this if you wish. And mark your calendar for next Thursday evening, same bat time, same bat channel. We've got Dr. Jacqueline Chassie talking about immune system support for kids and pediatric patients. So obviously that's a big issue with the back to school situation happening. And with that, I want to thank Lisa Murray for joining us this evening. And thank you again, Emerson Ecologics, for support of this series of webinars. And we'll see you, we'll hear you again back next week at 8 o'clock for the next in this series of webinars. So thanks very much. This is Eric Goldman signing off for Holistic Primary Care.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Lisa. Take care now. Bye.
Bye-bye.